Oh no. No, 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 no!
What?
My phone! It's gone!
Hello, my name is Kenzie, and I am an in-between animator on Bjorn the Last Unicorn. The scene I am working on in this video is scene 16. It was originally animated by John Densk, and I am the in-between animator for it.
Oh no. No, 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 no!
What?
My phone! It's gone!
I had already animated Chad's portion, so the guy on the right. I already had done the in-betweens for him, so this video will be me in-betweening Becca. Her scene was a bit easier than Chad's. He had a lot of movement going on, and fortunately John Dents did a great job at explaining what needed to be done on my part. So what I first do with every scene that I'm in-betweening is, as you can see, I just kept going through all the frames. I'm really getting an idea of what's in front of me and what is needed of me for the scene by following the timing chart. And I like to spend a lot of time beforehand, before starting, to see what I need to do so that I don't make a silly mistake that'll take hours or however long to fix. So I just like getting the right idea before I jump into it. And so now you can see me going for it. The red and the green lines are the frames that before and after, or just basically the frames that I am drawing in between. So for many cases, it'll be I'm favoring one pose or the other, so I'll draw closer to the green line or closer to the red line. I really enjoy drawing Becca. She is a very fun character. I really enjoyed drawing Becca's hair for this. One of my favorite parts about animation is having overlap or secondary actions and such with little pieces like hair moving or the little tuft on her hat or just little things like that. They're some of my favorite parts about animating. And so it's really fun to take what John's done and then get to work with what he's animated, and it's really fun and I feel like I learn a lot by doing it. One of my favorite parts about in-betweening in Toon Boom Harmony is that I can alter the line. So if I draw a really good line and I'm like, this is such a great line, but it just needs to be 1 millimeter to the left or 1 millimeter down or whatever, I can just easily transform the line and fix it to where I need it to be, which is really nice. Especially since these characters have lots of lines. So with Becca and Chad, they both have these very puffy jackets with lots of circles stacked on top of each other, which it took a while to get the hang of, because when in-betweening, all you see a lot of times, if you're in-betweening between two drastic shots or two drastic frames, it just can look like a bunch of lines and you're like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I don't know where it goes to what. But over time, you kind of figure things out. And I definitely, the longer I've worked with Becca and Chad as characters, the more I've gotten a hang of their jackets. And keeping track of not drawing the wrong amount on their sleeves and such. I actually think at some point with in-betweening, if you're in-betweening between two frames that are rather similar, it's kind of just fun to, when you're drawing the lines, they're so close together, your in-between lines are going to be so close to the lines in between the shots, so it's kind of just relaxing sometimes when you get to that point for a frame. Also with my computer doing its fun little quirky things, I'll get little dots on the screen, so if you see me just using the eraser tool randomly, that is because of me trying to get rid of the little dots, because that would not be fun for me to send that to our ink and paint and be like, oh hey, you have to fix this now. While drawing Becca, I also realized that I really loved John's facial expressions for Becca in this. I think the hardest thing for me with in-betweening Becca was her scarf, especially just like not drawing it in general, but with in-betweening it was incredibly difficult to keep track of all the lines because it was so many little lines in like a small area that most of the time I was so unsure what was what, so I would keep going in between the frames consistently. I'm like, wait, but it's this line's moving there and that line's moving there, and where does it go now? So that was a bit of a challenge, but there's me scrubbing through just all of the frames, getting a good idea of the motion before I get started. A really important thing to keep in mind is to make sure that you get all the lines with in-betweening. Sometimes when you see the red and the green, like lines between the shots before and after, I feel like, at least for me, my brain would correct and then already have that line in my in-between drawings, and then I'd go back and it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot to draw like half of her head, or forgot to draw one of her hands, or forgot to draw one line in the scarf, or one of the lines in her jacket, or whatever. And so I had to be very cautious and to go back and make sure that I would get that, because that would be a very annoying thing to be like, oh, I have to go back and fix that one line. Okay, so in this part of the shot, Becca's head and body stayed in the same spot and only her arms were moving. So basically what I did was I copied the entire image, pasted on each frame, and then erased the arms. And then, like for a couple frames or so, she blinks, so I would erase the eyes for those, and then in between from there. It was tricky to keep track of the frames that had the the copied and pasted image of Becca, that's the hold frame, and then, oh, but the arms need to be changed for that scene, and that was the hardest part about that part, was keeping track of which ones needed to be changed and how they needed to be changed, and which ones needed to be erased, which part of her body here needed to be erased, and which part could stay and which part needed to be drawn in, and all that kind of stuff. Because when her arm was more over her chest at one point, then that part of her chest wouldn't need to be drawn, but when it went down, then that piece would need to be drawn. I'm very glad that her hands were mittens for this scene, because that definitely made it a lot easier to animate her arms flailing around and such. I didn't have to worry about all of her fingers. It's just a mitten, which is much easier to draw than a full hand. So it was quite nice. I can't remember the exact time in which this shot took me, but I do remember that it took me longer than I thought it would. I think Chad's scene part of this definitely took the longest, and so I was like, oh, Becca's is gonna be so easy from here. I was like, oh my gosh, there's like so much to it, so much more than I thought, but it turned out to be a lot of fun. It was very challenging and I learned a lot from it, but I quite enjoyed it. So this is towards the end of the shot where I believe she's being like settling into her, oh my gosh, Chad. But this is right before when she's just feeling bad for Chad. What a good guy Chad is. We love Chad. And I also wanted to show the shot being finished with both Becca and Chad in between.
Oh no. No.
What?
My phone, it's gone. Oh no. No.
What?
My phone, it's gone.
And this was such a fun shot, and thank you guys so much for watching my process for it.
Be sure to subscribe to the Pencilish Studios YouTube channel.